Welcome everyone to another video, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at some more Pokemon based off of people's requests that might be good at level 50 or might not be good. I did make a pretty big typo on the last version of this, so I am re-recording it, but hopefully going to provide a little bit more depth because last time I recorded it at like 3 a.m. before Community Day, so it was maybe not the most insightful. But let's go ahead and go through the list. So again, the rules the groundwork that we're going to be providing is I'm going to be comparing the level 40 to either the rank 1. It should be either the rank 1 or it's basically for all these, it'll be the level 50 100% version of it. But obviously, depending on the Pokemon, it might be different. I'll be valuing all even shield scenarios, or all shield scenarios, mostly focused on the even shield ones. The list of Pokemon used in the comparison was based off the PvPoke custom group, the meta for each of the league that I'm looking to compare them against. And am using default IVs. If you use like attack weighted ones or, rank ones, some of the results may differ, but they should be relatively similar. I will be giving a rating out of 10 if it's worth having. 10 being definite yes, 0 being a definite no. And the CPMs are speculative until they're implemented in the game. Obviously, they've been data mined, but obviously the values could change before they're actually into the game. Actually, not sure in Australia they can power up Pokemon past level 40. Maybe they can. But anyways, I'm going to also be sharing the link to the spreadsheet. It's the exact same as in the last video. It basically looks like this. Well, you can't really see it because some of the images are cut off. But basically, it includes a little summary chart here. Shows each of the individual matchups. If it's green, that means the Pokemon that we're analyzing is going to win. If it's not green, then it's either a tie or a loss. 500 means it's a tie. The lower the number, the worse matchup it is. The higher the number, the better the matchup is. So I'll be including that link in the description so you can take a look at that if you want to take a look at the full details. So let's go ahead and take a look at the Pokemon that we're going to be analyzing. These are the list of Pokemon that will be included in the meta. Obviously, they may differ once we include all the level 50 Pokemon, or the emphasis might be a little bit different. We're going to be taking a look at Alolan Sandshrew, not Sandscrew, as I put in the last one. Kanto, Farfetch'd, and then Wobbuffet. So when we take a look at Alolan Sandshrew, it maxes below 1500, way below 1500, and it's still below 1500. And you can see it with the 10 additional levels. It does pick up some more matchups, especially in the one shield. But the unfortunate part about Alolan Sandshrew is that it has Night Slash, which is decent, no stab on it, and then it either has Blizzard, which is very expensive to get to, or Gyro Ball, which Gyro Ball is not that great. Steel typing is great. Ice typing is not great. Double weak to counter, double weak to fighting, which is pretty tough in the Great League meta. It does take neutral from rock, right? Rock moves, which is because of its steel typing, and ice is weak to it. Some notable new wins is it picks up the Zweilous 0 and 1 shield matchup, as well picks up the Meganium and Galvantula 1 shield. But besides that, most of the matchups are really not that important. It picks up like in the 1 shield. Other matchups are like I guess the Mew is decent, Munchlax, Alolan Raichu, which is not too common in the meta. It does pick up Sableye in the 1. I'm not sure that's but a lot of these are bait dependent, and then as well Swampert in the 1, but extremely bait dependent, which makes it pretty tough to work with. So my recommendation is a 2 out of 10. If you really love this Pokemon and you want to max one out, you have 100% or 98, then go for it. But unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be too meta relevant. The next one is Kanto Farfetch'd. This is a level 50, 100%. It maxes way below 1500, and again, you have to put it at level 50, and it's still below 1500. It picks up some more wins in the 0 shield, and in the a few in the 1 and the 2 shield. But to be honest, it's not that huge of a difference. It picks up the Munchlax in the 1 and the 2 shield, and the Tropius in the 0. Other things that it picks up in the 0 if I were to take a look at this list here, it just doesn't win that many matchups. It wins 15, loses 32. Picks up Lapras, which is not too common. It does pick up Munchlax in all even shield scenarios right now. It is rocking Fury Cutter, Leaf Blade, and Aerial Ace, so there's no baiting required in that. Because it picks up Sableye in the Zero Shield, Unova, Stunfisk in the Zero. Picks up both Tropiuses, but to be honest, like it's even with picking up those matchups, they're very niche matchups. So personally, I don't think it's worth it to spend as well. I'm not sure where you're going to be able to get the XL candy for Kanto Farfetch'd. So that's also something to consider. So mine's a 1 out of 10. I really wouldn't recommend spending the Stardust or trying to spend the time and effort to get the XL candy for Kanto Farfetch'd. I just don't think it's that good. It's certainly better at level 50 than it is level 40. That's without a doubt, but still not quite good enough. The next one I'm going to be looking at is Wobbuffet. So Wobbuffet is a psychic type, and it's quite a bulky psychic type. It does max out below 1500 at level 40, and it is still below 1500 at level 50, but it's certainly much closer. As you can see here, it picks up a number of new wins, 12 wins in the 0, 10 in the 1, 13 in the 2, and unfortunately it does it either barely wins matchups, right? Or loses them pretty hard. It has counter, mirror coat, and return. The only way you can get a second move here is by purifying the Wobbuffet. So that way you get extra return. And return is actually pretty important because it allows it to hit like dark types for neutral damage. And a bunch of these matchups are really other psychic types. It's really dependent on having the return. So Dugong, Registeel, Shiftry are all because now Wobbuffet's a little bit tankier, so its counter damages are going to be enough to allow it to win those matchups that it should. And then as well as able to pick up Skarmory and Swampert in the 0, 1, and 2 shield matchup. I think it's like it's kind of like Farfetch'd, I would say. Farfetch'd in terms of like it's nice to have. It's another counter user that you can use. But do I think it's mandatory? Probably not. Do I think someone will be like, I'll be like totally shocked if someone uses it in their Great League battles at any ELO range? No. But it's going to be like more of a spice pick that's definitely going to have some utilities. And we actually look at the updated PvPoke rankings that PvPoke has run on his offline version of it, so you won't be able to see this if you go on pvpoke.com, but this is simulating with level 50 on all the various Pokemon, and you can see that Wobbuffet comes in at number 13 with that counter, return, and mirror code. So it's going to be nice, but I do think like Pokemon like Machamp, like Medicham, serve a pretty similar purpose, especially Medicham, I guess, serve a pretty similar purpose. And I'm not necessarily it obviously not weak to flying is pretty nice, but weak to dark is also not nice. So it's kind of like Defense Deoxys, but not as good. It's definitely pretty bulky, and I definitely could see some play with it in the Great League. So next we're looking at Ultra League Premier meta. We're looking at 3 Fliers, Altaria, Mandibuzz, and Skarmory. And when we look at Altaria, it is a flying and dragon type. It maxes way below 2500, and even at level 50 it's still below 2500 but much closer. Picks up some really nice matchups. It picks up the Ampharos in the 0-1 shield, which is pretty unique as a flyer to be able to compete with an electric type. Obviously the dragon types make the electric moves neutral. It also is able to beat Dragonite in the 0 and 2 shield, does lose in the 1 shield. And then it beats Kingdra in the 0, 1, and 2. So it definitely has a lot of play against the other dragons. It also beats Empoleon in the 0 and 2 shield matchup. I'll give it a 7 out of 10 for recommended. Again, it's a nice pick. but I do think the following two flyers are better than Altaria for the most part. Its dragon typing is nice, but it's also a little bit of a liability when it comes to like Pokemon like Lapras, for example. So let's go ahead and take a look at the next Pokemon, and this is going to be Mandibuzz. Mandibuzz maxes, again, way below 2,500 at level 40 and still below 2,500 at level 50. You're looking to have simulated with Snarl, Foul Play, and Shadow Ball. And as you can see here, it picks up 8 wins in the 0, 6, and 6 in the 1 and 2 shields. Allows it to win more games than it loses, as well as average rating gets a pretty nice bump. It's able to beat Dragonite in all even shields. It's able to beat Driplim in the 0 and 2, Empoleon in the 0 2, and Escavalier in the 1 and 2 shield. It's a very bulky Pokemon. It's going to be very spammy with that Snarl damage. It won't have as much fast move pressure, but fast move pressure is not as important in Ultra League because the Pokemon are much bulkier, so you have to really rely on charge moves much more often, which Mandibuzz is going to be quite nice against. So I do think it's a better flyer than Altaria, but it comes with pros and cons when it comes to its matchups. But it's bulkier than Altaria, and it's much spammier than Altaria as well. The last flyer, which I think is the best of the three, is going to be Skarmory. Skarmory is a steel and flying type. Typically, you have triple flying moves, Air Slash, Sky Attack, and Brave Bird. And it was already usable. If you look at its numbers beforehand, it was like a spicy pick. It wins a lot of Zero Shield matchups because of that Brave Bird, but now it becomes a much more viable Pokemon in the 1 and 2 shields because of that additional bulk. Again, it maxes way below 2,500 at level 40 and still below 2,500 at level 50, so you do want that 100% or very high IV. It is able to pick up the Escavalier matchup in the 2 shield, Alolan Muck, Obstagoon, and Shadow Snorlax in all even shield matchups. I think it's a very strong pick, and given that Venusaur was one of the most popular Pokemon in Ultra Premier, we're looking at one of the biggest Venusaur walls to date. Venusaur, obviously a big wall to Venusaur is Charizard, but Charizard had to fear the Sludge Bomb, but Skarmory does not fear Sludge Bomb, does not fear Frenzy Plant. It's able to double resist all of Venusaur's moves, which I think is quite nice and is able to farm down. And that Brave Bird nuke is still going to do a ton of damage, even to an electric type that comes in. It does have to worry about Ampharos. It does have to worry about Magnezone and a few other Pokemon. But the fact that it's able to compete more in neutral matchups than it did before, like against Lapras, for example, and its steel typing is really nice. I think it's going to be a very strong player, and you can kind of see that play out when you look at the adjusted rankings. Again, this is not available on pvpoke.com quite yet. I'm sure once level 50 is rolled out and they're able to use them in Go Battle League, then you'll see a more refined listing. But we can see here that Skarmory is number 2, Mandibuzz is number 4, Shadow Skarmory is number 5, and Altaria is number 7. I do think that Mandibuzz and Altaria and probably Skarmory are all rated a little bit too high right now because we don't have any usage data, because like Lapras can compete against all three of them. So I don't see them quite that high on the list, but I do envision that the three of them will be in the top 15 and will have a lot of play, and you can have your choice of a flyer that you want to run. And the good thing about like Mandibuzz is that it does have the option to hit neutral against some anti-flyers. So you definitely see some like double flyer strats where you basically sacrifice Mandibuzz. Obviously, you have to be careful of Charmers, but you just sacrifice Mandibuzz and then have Skarmory roam free and look to take out the rest of the team. So I definitely see some great play in that manner. So anyways, those are my recommendations. So I have a very high recommendation for Skarmory. You should definitely be looking for high IV or 100% Skarmories and start best buddying it. I also, if you have extra dust and you want to run some double flyer strats, then I think Altaria and Mandibuzz are really great options in in especially Mandibuzz if you're looking to play Ultra League, because it's able to beat Cresselia and Giratina and perform really well against the entire meta. I think those two are really great options. Wobbuffet, if you're looking for a spicy pick in the Grey League, again, I don't think it's mandatory. Kind of has like a weird, mix. If there's no Defense Deoxys, maybe I would rate it a little bit higher. And then I wouldn't recommend Alolan Sandshrew or Kanto Farfetch'd. Anyways, let me know down in the comment section below what other Pokemon you want me to analyze. And I'm really excited to see how Ultra League is going to be completely shaken up with these introduction of these new Pokemon. Anyways, I'm going to leave it there. If you like this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see everyone in the next video, I should say.